Yeah, that's right. I see the chat. I see y'all rocking. I see y'all coming. Hit that like button as you enter the building. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Show your love. Show your support. You know what I'm saying? This that dope soul. This that new thing. Nobody don't know about it.
Hello, Knicks family. Welcome to the Just Knickin' It weekly show and the weekly preview show. Remember, Christmas falls on a Thursday, so we're going to do both shows tonight. We're going to start off with Mitchell Robinson, what I see as a resurgence in his overall game. I know some may feel like that's an overstatement. We'll talk about that. We'll then give our opinion on the current state of the Knicks, just since we last met here. What are our thoughts on the team overall? We'll do a quick preview of the three teams we're playing this week, which is Minnesota Tuesday, Cleveland Christmas Day Thursday, and then Atlanta on Saturday. And that's about it. Those who are in the chat, you guys are part of it as well. So we'll definitely highlight some comments. We'll definitely spend more time on the super chat. So we're about to get right into it. I'm joined by Jeff Clafter from the Happily Ever Clafter Daily Sports Blog. I am Jerrell from the Die Hard Giants Live, period. No podcast. Appreciate that. DopeSoul alumni 2022. Jerrell, I think it's 2021. I was going back and I was like, I think we've been at this since 2021. I might be off a year.
22.
It was 22?
Yeah, I went back and checked just to make sure.
It was 22. Okay. All right. I'll change the logo then. Ajay, the villain, Hollywood, Green Lantern, the Hulk, whatever you want to call it. Appreciate you. And, you know, the family member who's away all the time, but is always welcome when he does come back for the holidays. Delusional Nick fan. I knew he was going to be here because I said we was talking about Mitch. If we wasn't talking about Mitch, he wouldn't have made it. He wouldn't have made it today.
I was here this week regardless, Queen, because like I said, I was on vacation. So it was just look, I have a lot of DMPs, but I'm always here for the game winner, though.
Very Mitchell Robinson of him, if you think about it.
Right.
I'm on my Mitch management. Correct.
Right.
And shout out his channel too, Queen.
Oh, yes, definitely. And as a matter of fact, I am going to, if I can find it, I think it is right here. That's the QR code for Delusional Nick Fan Network. So you could just,
You guys are too kind, man. I appreciate it.
Play by play is awesome, guys. If you ever get a chance, check it out. He does a really good job. I don't know how often you get to do it, but I've tuned in a couple times to his play by play, and he's really sharp when it comes to analyzing the different what's going on as far as the plays that are being run and those sorts of things. Very, very educational, and he does kind of have a Clyde Jr. kind of a vibe to it. So I don't know how often he does it, but you definitely need to check it out.
That is love. That is love.
And don't let the name fool you. He could be delusional at times, but he's very knowledgeable in the game. So the play-by-plays, the analysis, and the stuff he says here are really like on point most of the time.
Yeah.
Just carve out that little delusional time sometime.
It definitely comes out. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we're not taking calls today, Lord Scientist. I'm not set up for that. I'm on location. And the other thing I want to say, you know, everybody brings something unique to the collective. And one of the things Delusional brings is the schematics. So I love when you're here and you're able to give us that perspective on the game. We missed that. I missed that. I should say I missed that when you're not here. But listen, let's get into it. Shout out to the chat. Jamrock. He said he's present and ready to engage in debate. We had what I consider a fire show game recap this morning. Jeff's first show back after being off for about a month, and I think at least it felt like that, Jeff. And I think we got into it about the young guys and the window and should you trade for somebody that can help us. It was just a real lively, respectful debate. So shout out to Docosaurus Rex and Jamrock always this morning. But today we're starting right out with the main topic, which is Mitchell, Mitchell Robinson. In my opinion, they've been slow rolling Mitchell Robinson, right? He came back 17 games last season. I actually thought, after having a full off season, he would be ready to go when the season started. That wasn't the case. They kind of held him out a little bit, ramped him up, quite slowly. I thought there was a 6 to 8 game period where, for me, in my opinion, his defense wasn't what I usually expect from, Mitchell Robinson, even though the offensive rebounds has been pretty consistent throughout. I think over the past 3, 4 games, to me, there seems to be a resurgence. Maybe that's hyperbole. Maybe that's a bit overstated. You guys let me know. In the sense that I see the Mitchell Robinson that I know, right? The offensive rebounds, the defensive impact. And listen, he's 10 of 10 for free throws over the past 2 games, whether that holds up or not. If it does, great. But even if it doesn't, if he's back to being that defensive presence, I think that really raises the ceiling um, of of this team, which in my opinion is already high. So I guess the first question I have is, do you think do you think Mitchell Robinson, do you think this whole resurgence thing is an overstatement, that he's just had a few bad games? Or do you feel like, nah, this is a resurgence. This is him rounding into shape, turning the corner, so to speak. Just talk about Mitchell Robinson's play from the beginning and how you're making sense of it. Kim Doc in the house, appreciate you, sis. Delusional, we'll start with you.
I
David Smith,
appreciate it.
always
With
consistent, David Smith. I know your family love you. If you going to bat for your family like you going to bat for Cat, I know you are well loved in your family. But go ahead.
100%, 100%. It's funny. I am labeled the chosen one out of the family, so I do vouch and hold down everyone that I can. But I do want to give you your props first, Queen, before I jump in. I know we're going a little bit off topic, but YouTube kind of sent me a notification of like the top channels that I follow. So, of course, Dope Soul is number one. You're over SNY, which is our main coverage. But Queen, got to give you your props to let you know that you are definitely the top information for all Knicks. So from there, let's jump into Mitch. So with Mitch,
Appreciate you.
I don't want to say it's a resurgence. Why? Because we know what Mitch is capable of, 100%. And it was weird in the beginning of the year of when we saw Mitch, we seen all the training videos of him during the summertime, running up hills and all of that. So we were ultra excited of him coming into this year. Why? Because he would have been in shape. That's the main thing. Once you're in shape, your body's able to run up and down and play multiple possessions and sit there and knock down free throws because it's your breathing, it's the whole entire process. So with Mitch, I thought that once they shut him down to do the Mitch management, I don't think he was doing any type of running drills or conditioning during that aspect during the shutdown. Because each video we see everybody else running up and down and he's just shooting free throws. So I think like that Mitch management was really him not doing any of those conditioning things over that time period. Running up and down, that's his conditioning. Once he gets his conditioning back to where it needs to be, Mitch is there. You can see now he's getting more and more reps. Like he's not sitting down 2 or 3 games. He's playing games. If we're playing every other night, he plays. It's just really the back-to-backs that he don't play. So he's still getting that repetition and that movement. So I'm assuming he's practicing more as well. So he's getting that reps. So I truly believe it's just that he's back to where he has his breathing patterns. Free throws. We all know once you go to a free throw, if I'm running laps up and down, I get to that free throw, your heart is beating fast, your legs is not up under you, and you got to try to knock down those shots. Those was the reason why he was missing those shots. It was literally his endurance from my perspective. And now that that's coming there, and then of course he's keeping that elbow in, he's going to knock it down. So I believe once his endurance is there, he's good.
Okay, all right. I appreciate that. I mean, you do bring up a good point about his endurance, because he does look like he played 26 minutes the other day and he looked spry, throughout the time he was on the court. Jerrell, just your thoughts on Mitchell Robinson for the season and what you've seen of late and how you're making sense of it.
I think Mitch has been playing very, very well. And you asked, was it a resurgence? I don't think it's been a resurgence at all. I'm okay with like a player having a couple bad games. Like Mitch is, like we always say that he should be a star in his role. For what he's supposed to be doing for this team, he's been perfect. Like I don't see, except for like a couple games, like I said recently, he's had a couple, maybe quote unquote bad games, but I don't think by him playing well in the last couple games is any type of resurgence, because I think this is just Mitchell Robinson and him being a star in his role like we always want him to be. When it comes to the free throws, I think it's just a small sample size. He was shooting like 17% before he started hitting like 10 straight. So, I don't put any type of credence to that so far. Like we'll have to see whether he turned the table when it comes to his free throws or not. But overall, like Mitch has been good. I don't really have anything negative to say about him. Like Delusional said, when it comes to his conditioning, as he plays more, he's going to be even better. So hopefully, the way he's playing come playoff time, people wouldn't think of it as a resurgence. It would be thinking that's just Mitch.
Right. Ajay, then we'll get into Jeff. Jeff has already let us know he got a lot to say because he didn't even want to give us a sentence on Mitchell Robinson during the game recap. So I'm gonna save him for last. This might be the first time I use like the single, like.
No, don't single line. Not do that. You'll scare me away now. Come on now.
He might get the
You're gonna hide me. I can turn off my camera if you need me to.
Ajay.
So Mitch, so the resurgence really is it really a resurgence, or is it really that Mitch has been playing like that the entire time? The difference is he's scoring a little more now. Why? Because he's hitting his free throws, and you don't know. I think Jerrell said it's a small sample size, so let's see how that does with the free throws. He's still shooting it that straight beeline, and somehow they going in. Like he's still shooting them with no arc on them. So is it lucky, or did they find something in his mechanics? I don't know. But he's been a beast on rebounding the entire season. Right. So that hasn't changed. That's been the same. So two things: he's hitting his free throws now, and then they're looking for him a little bit more. Because a lot of time I know we talked about that. We watching the game, we're like, Mitch is down there like just roaming around, and nobody looks for him. He's in the dunker spot like every time, and why don't they just look for him? And they starting to do that now. So conditioning plays a part, and yes, you're hoping he's going to get better as the season goes on, right? But then again, a lot of what he's doing now, he's been doing the entire season, maybe doing them a little better because he's getting his feet under him, but he's putting in the effort. Like he has been rebounding, and if you watch those games on Prime, Stan Van Gundy is a huge fan of him. He's always saying how this guy's rebound, him and Josh Hart, how they are like this is what the core, the Knicks offense is centered around those guys, even though they don't score a lot. You know what I'm saying? So let's just see how it goes. Like, is he gonna keep hitting his free throws? Are they gonna keep looking for him? He's been putting in the effort, and you can expect him to continue to do that the rest of the season and into the playoffs if he's stay healthy, which I believe he will.
So for you, the difference in Mitchell Robinson is over the past few games, more scoring and the free throws.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and I definitely go ahead.
No, I was gonna say defensively, again, we somehow this season he doesn't seem to be this great defensive player like he's always been in the past, and I think that's still the case. Like people, that even in the past couple of games that hasn't changed. He still puts in the same effort. He still try to deflect the ball. He still try to change the shots. It's worked out different in the last couple of games, but it's been mostly that he's scoring more in the last couple of games.
Yeah, I think I just see it. I see that part different. I think his defense is rounding back into shape the last few games, but there was a significant part of the season where his rim protection just wasn't there, and guys weren't afraid to go into the lane and not like there was a time when just him being in the lane would deter people from coming in. There was a stretch of games where that wasn't the case, and not only that, they were getting in the lane and scoring over Mitch. And I remember talking to Jeff, and I was like, is he still injured? Like, is there something going on? Because he's just not the same defensively. But Delusional brought up a good point. But the thing about it, I get the fact that he wasn't in shape, but he started out with that impact defensively. Then there was a stretch where it wasn't, and then now it's back. So now I'm like, usually if it's due to conditioning, it's just not there, and then it comes back. So it was hard to explain that. But I'm encouraged because when I saw that stretch, I was like, we need that from Mitch. Like, I appreciate those second chance points. I really do. But I'm like, we need that defensive anchor, with a OG, with Towns before Towns started rounding into a little shape defensively. I was a little concerned. I gotta be honest. And so I guess I'm super stoked, not necessarily by the free throws. I'm super stoked by seeing that rim protection. Now, you got to do it as a team. He can't do it by himself. But I see him. I see the quickness. I see the stamina. I see that, and then I'm like, oh, Knicks pop it. If Mitchell Robinson is going to be that for us, it's going to be good. So, but I don't think it was just me, because I've heard it from other content creators as well about that stretch. So anyway, that's what I'm most concerned about. I mean, happy about. The free throw shooting, like, that's like, I gotta wait like 20 more games, and once I see that that's who he is, then that changes. That's another level, right there. But Jeff, let me see, Jeff. Let me see.
front row.
Let me see. It's not working, Jeff. Like, something is going on.
Amen. God provides.
It's going.
Lord.
Something
God
is
is good all the time.
Oh, go ahead, Jeff. Bring us home. Go ahead.
First of all, in regards to the free throw shooting, I just think that's statistical variance. I mean, he's shooting 42% on the season, but he was at 17. So he had a really, really bad stretch, and now he's in a really good one. And that's how, we tend to think of a 40% or 50% shooter that they always make, 5 out of every 10 or 2 out of every 4 or 1 out of every 2. Well, that's not how it works. Like, a lot of times you'll go through an extended slump like he did to start the year, and now it's kind of normalizing to back to what he typically is, which isn't necessarily good. I mean, 42% is atrocious, but when you double your free throw percentage in the matter of a week, that's at least significant. So hopefully it does continue to improve. You can always tell, as Ajay said, if it's got arc on that shot, it's going to go in. But so much of his stuff is line drive straight at the rim. He doesn't ever give himself a chance. But some of the things I've noticed about Robinson, he's playing 18 minutes a game right now, which I think is a good number for him. But what I'm impressed with is his rebounding numbers. He is, I think 8.6 is the second highest rebounding per game total that he's had in his career. And his highest, I think, was like 9.4 or 9.6. And he was playing 27 minutes a game at that point. And so he's playing 9 fewer minutes, and he's pulling in 1 less rebound a game. He's really taken to being an elite rebounder over the last 10 games. Last 5 games, rather, he's averaging 10 rebounds a game. He has exactly 50 boards in those games. And I think 32 of those are on the offensive end, which is incredible. I think that really the most important part of Robinson's game right now to this team is the job that he does on the glass. And I think he's doing that better than he ever has. And so I think that's super encouraging moving forward, because what we've seen is that we know that when his defense is on it's at its apex, we know that this is a guy who can change a playoff series. He's done it multiple times, and he doesn't necessarily seem like a 4-point per game guy is going to be a playoff riser, but Robinson has proven that he can be that. I mean, Cleveland had wanted no part of him a couple years ago, and he was the reason we beat Boston, or a big reason why we beat Boston last year, in my opinion. So I think you have both of those things. But I also wanted to point out that Mitchell Robinson has a gravity that's all of his own. If you looked at the Spurs game in particular, in the minutes that he was on the floor, Wembanyama was so concerned about Mitch and where he was at and how to get a body on him that he had one of his probably his worst game of the season because of what Robinson's capable of and what he's able to do. And so and Wembanyama is an alien for a reason. I mean, he's just an incredible player, but Robinson really changed the complexion of that game in a lot of ways, because he was able to make it where Wemby was almost like, well, I don't know what to do here. I've got to stay here, so I can't roam as much. And that allowed guys like Brunson and Kolek to kind of roam free a little bit against the Spurs, which really typically is not the case. They do a terrific job defensively, and they're generally a good team in terms of sort of rim protection. And so I really feel like that game kind of encapsulates what the Mitchell Robinson effect can be. I think what's frustrating to me and to Queen and a lot of Knicks fans out there is we don't see it all the time. And I'm not really certain, as I can't, maybe Delusional can diagnose better why I mean, you'll see it for a couple of games and then it goes away for a couple of games. So I don't really understand why that inconsistency is there. That may be statistical variance too. Maybe it's injuries. I don't know, but I really feel like, especially in that Spurs game, which was, probably in terms of quality of opponent, probably our best win on the season, even though it doesn't count in the standings. I thought that his ability to really make Wembanyama do things that he's not comfortable with and get him in a spot where he almost didn't want to go and try anything on the inside. So he took a lot of contested 3-point shots. I think he was 2 of 6 on those shots. So he really did a good job on that aspect as well. So, Mitch is a good asset to have. And it's really, what's really nice is that we don't have to rely on him to play starters minutes. We can keep him at the 18-minute per game level on nights like against Philadelphia when he was really feeling himself. He really having a big game, both scoring the ball and rebounding wise. You can put him in there for a little more. We're not playing him on back-to-backs. I think that's certainly wise and it helps. And guess what? There aren't back-to-backs in the postseason, right? So that's preparing his body the right way for playoff time. And I do think Robinson can make a difference in a series with his ability to defend, and especially when the game slows down. And he and Bridges and OG are like the three guys who I feel like can guard 1.5 or 1+. That's what I like to call it. They can guard their man and do a little bit more. And he's even shown that he's able to switch onto smaller players, not as a routine thing, but if you need him to do it on an occasional basis, it's not going to kill you. Although I do think that may be part of the reason why he's had those moments where he hasn't been as good of a rim protector, is because he's switching more, and so he's out of position compared to what he was when he was strictly playing drop coverage. So that may have something to do with it. And I would think that that's matchup dependent, because sometimes we have to switch more than others just based upon the matchup. So I think that's something that I'm looking towards as we move along. But for me, the primary thing with Robinson is that he's an elite rebounder, and he's been even better this year. And he creates gravity just on his ability to be able to attack the offensive glass. In the Celtics series last year, they were throwing 2 guys at him to try and get the rebound. And so if he can do that on a consistent basis in high leverage games, then he's going to keep his spot here, and he's worth every penny that we're paying him.
Nice. Yeah, I would say he's an elite offensive rebounder. That's for sure. I don't know if I would say elite, like including defense, but an elite offensive rebounder for sure, and a historically elite. He may be, minute per minute, the best offensive rebounder in the history of the game. I mean, he's just amazing. And to your point, Jeff, the gravity, he has gravity. Like you cannot leave him to roam around. Like you gotta stay attached, you know. So yeah, do you think, given his, do you think the Knicks should go back to starting the double big lineup? Like there was this a sentiment of, you put Mitch in there to cover Cat, but if he's not really covering him, defensively, and you're not really better during those minutes, um, why do it? I think he's better defensively. His stamina is better. Would you go back to starting the double big lineup? Why or why not?
I wouldn't. I don't really love the double big lineup. I think that what we've seen is that we don't really need the double big lineup to be able to defend, or at least that's my impression. I think that when you have either McBride or even Clarkson or Kolek in the game, guys who don't have size, you're playing small. I haven't really seen it where seen too many games where it's really been punished. Sixers certainly did it the other night with Maxey and Edgecombe.
Mhm.
So if that becomes a problem, but I don't know that inserting Robinson into the starting lineup, fixes that as much as having a guy like Shamet or McBride would be
Right,
better. So I
right,
to me personally, I love his role of about 18 minutes a game. I think it's right for him to keep him healthy. I also think coming off the bench is the right role for him. I think that having that extra shooter in the starting lineup is more of a need for us than the rim protection that he provides. And I think that the rim protection really works with the second unit, especially when you're going with guys like Jordan Clarkson, who sometimes has trouble keeping his man in front of him, although he's been much better defensively than he ever was in Utah, in my opinion. I
right,
think
right.
he's done a decent job. But at
Okay,
the same time, with that second unit, I really like having Mitch in there. I think it's comfortable for him. I think he plays best out of that spot. So me
okay.
personally, I'm not of the double big lineup. I don't think in
Got
the
you,
modern NBA you really need it very
got
often.
you, got you. Ajay?
Well, you go by the record, right? What's our record since we since we've been starting Josh Hart instead of double big lineup? I think we maybe lost one or two games. So why go back to that one? Two games, right?
I
I
believe
wouldn't.
too.
Yeah, I wouldn't keep him unless, and Mike Brown would probably do that, unless we're playing a team like a very big team that has two bigs in front. Maybe he'll probably do a double big lineup more. I don't know if he'll start a double big lineup, but he'll probably play them more minutes than he would typically do, depending on if you're playing a big team. Like let's say you're playing Detroit and they have Duran and Beef Stew up front. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you see a double big lineup just to try to neutralize those guys on the defensive glass. I mean, on the glass period, really, both ends of the court.
Right.
So in Mike Brown, he's showing his flexibility that he's able to do that. You know, he's able to match or force the other team to match what he has out there. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's not something I would necessarily run back to unless
Hmm.
it's a matchup thing depending on who we playing.
Fair. Um, Delusional.
In the beginning, I was the one a huge advocate for the double big lineup, only to kind of cover up for Cat mistakes defensively. So,
Mhm.
but like you said, once we brought in Hart, Cat actually kind of stepped it up in those games as well defensively. He had a couple block shots. His rebounding was there, his positioning was there. So that's all we asked out of Cat during that time period. That's why I was wanting Mitch, because Mitch can beat it defensively. But seeing that, but it also, Cat's offensive game has kind of taken a dip as well, as he's kind of feeding into the offense itself. So I would keep Mitch in that minimum role, as well, because like you said, he's effective during that time period. He could run with that second unit and completely, destroy that unit and take that game plan out. So the starters will have to kind of be dominant during that time period. So just having Mitch in that limited role coming off the bench, keeping him fresh for the playoffs, especially in the San Antonio game, Mitch was huge for that.
Absolutely.
Really huge. So just seeing him in that time period and what he can do, let's keep the momentum going, especially once we bring back Douche and Shamit. Now that just opens up a whole different lineup with Douche and Shamit. Then you got Mitch in that second unit as well. And they're starting to feed Mitch a little bit more too. So then that's something that they can implement with that to where we can still generate offense as well. So I love keeping them in the second unit.
Jerrell, you can answer that, but also I want to ask the panel, and Jerrell, you can answer this as well. Is 18 minutes enough? I mean, I think 18 minutes was part of the load management, part of ramping him back up. Do you feel like that's the limit for him on the season? Like, I was excited to see him play 26, which is what we're kind of used to. So Jerrell, just talk about the double big lineup and then the minutes for Mitch. Is 18 about where you see it, or do you see a little more?
I'm glad you asked that, because that was actually going to be the reason why I was going to say it's not, the double big lineup isn't good for us starting because of Mitch's minutes. Like, it's still inconsistent. He doesn't even get 20 minutes a game yet. He doesn't play back to backs. I like Josh Hart in there because it can at least be, a consistent starting five, and that's really the only reason so far, because I think the double big lineup is still a small sample size too, because Mitch doesn't play that many minutes. And I think, like Ajay said, like, I think it'll be situational, like when we play somebody like Detroit or somebody with double bigs.
Don't say hi, just wait.
But yeah, I don't think we should do the double big lineup when it comes to the starting. Just situational, and just Mitch's minutes is just too inconsistent.
Just say hi, and that's it.
Who that's that?
That's my godbrother, one of them.
Hey.
Why can't I say hi? Because you're not on the show. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking when they started. I'm like, okay, we started him, but he's only playing, 17 minutes a game. But do you see, and this is for the panel, do you see Mitch playing more than 18 minutes a game? Or to Jeff's point, 18 minutes is about where you see him for the season?
Or is that to me too?
Anybody.
Well, I think it'll probably ramp up a little bit more. I think as the season goes, especially past the like the All-Star game and closer to the playoffs, I think Mitch is going to have to play a little bit more minutes, especially, if he's going to be ready for the playoffs. I want him averaging more than like 16, 18 minutes a game. I like him at the 25 to 26 minutes a game, just like you was talking about earlier. I think under 20 is way too little for Mitch in the playoffs.
I don't think that's how it's going to go. I don't think it's just a matter of ramping him up. I think it's a matter of what do we have in front of us, right? Who are we playing? Do we need Mitch to play 25 minutes, or is it okay to just have him play 18 minutes and still win the ball game? You know what I'm saying? So, and I think Mike Brown, that's what he's been doing. He's literally.
But why though? Is it because of his health, or because we don't say that about any other player coming off the bench? Let's just limit them to 16.
No, Queen. No, it's not that we don't say, because we don't discuss that about other players. But some games you might see Kolek play 12 minutes, or some game you might see Kolek play 20 minutes, depending on what's working. I think Mike Brown and his staff, they've been doing that all season, managing the game and seeing what the game is telling them to do. They literally been doing that all season. You see some games where you see Jordan Clarkson play maybe 8 minutes, or some games he'll play 18 minutes, depending on what's going on in the game. And I think it's going to be the same. I mean, we have constants, right? We have Jalen Brunson. He's going to play a lot of minutes, right? Cat, unless he's in foul trouble, he's going to play a lot of minutes, whether he's playing well or not. And even there was a game the other day where he sat Mikal Bridges down, right? And, he put Coley, depending on what's going on in the game. I think they've been doing an excellent job at managing the roster and the times that they put him in and out. You know, they don't just put him in because Mitch got to play. You want Mitch to play 25 minutes, so he's going to play 25. No, it depends on the team. Like, it depends on the game. What's going on in this game, you know, that will dictate how many minutes Mitch plays. I wouldn't be surprised if I see a game where he plays, you know, 14, 15 minutes because we don't need him.
So, I mean, basically, Mitch is now a role player.
Yeah. He was always a role player.
Mitch, I don't know. I thought Mitch was a starter. Mitch was a starter on the team, and
starter doesn't mean you're not a role
player.
Okay.
Yeah, I can say role players starters too.
That's true, but I guess he's like in the clocks. Like you're talking about him. Like there was a time when whatever the minutes Robinson played, 26, say that was his limit, he hit that pretty much every game. You understand? He had a defined role. Like Josh Hart is a role player, but he's getting 30 minutes a game at least. But now we're talking about Mitchell Robinson like we're talking about Clarkson. You know, one day it may be 12, the next day it may be 20. We don't talk about any of the starters that way, and we never talked about Mitchell Robinson that way.
I get what you're saying.
I have an answer to that, Queen. I think that the reason is, as it all ties in with the double big lineup situation, because if you think about it, what Towns is playing, 32 to 34 minutes, right? And so if Mike Brown was really comfortable with the double big lineup, that's when you would necessarily have either you're going to cut Towns minutes, which would be suicidal. That's dumb. He wouldn't do that. Or you're going to have to play them together for large tracts of time. And if Towns is playing 34 minutes, that means you're playing, and you're going to give him 20. That means he's playing 10 minutes on the floor with Cat. I mean, and I don't know what the lineup data says about the double big lineup. To me, I haven't been crazy about it. Maybe delusional. He's always better with that stuff than I am, but I think that's part and parcel why 18 minutes is kind of the sweet spot. You get a little bit of the double big, but not, almost like having a sub in the game. And if it's working on a particular night, then yeah, you can, on those nights, you can bump him up to 24 or 25. But as someone who's not really a fan of the double big lineup, and as someone who doesn't think that's the best utilization of the talent on the team, I don't really think that putting him over 18 minutes a game makes a lot of sense strictly from that perspective.
Wow.
I think
hold that perspective when I ask that next question. Go ahead, Delusional.
I think he'll get more minutes. Just kind of looking at the stats for the last two games. The game that he went off, he had 26 minutes where he had the 21 points and I think like 16 rebounds. And then the Miami game, he had 22 minutes. So it's a little more than the 18 that we talked about, but a lot of it was the situational aspect. I think Cat was out for one of the games to where he had gotten a little bit more minutes. So we can see where he'd get more minutes during that aspect. And then, of course, this game, he was being productive. There was moments of where they needed his defense. And injuries are playing a role. So we still have more guys. We're seeing Diawara play more minutes now, and Yabusele's out the rotation. So that could be a little bit more minutes for Mitch there. But as and it's tough for me to disagree with you guys. You guys are all kind of smart, but I can't see Mitch as not being a key player and just as a role aspect for what he does in general. Like, with his presence alone. Presence sometimes could be an aspect to the game, but not necessarily a role. From my perspective, he brings a lot to the team. I don't even consider Josh a role player. Like without Josh, we don't have a lot. He's a ball handler. Rebound, knocking down 3-pointers now over a 40% clip. So I can't consider Josh, but I guess everybody's terms of basketball is a little different, but these guys are building a championship unit for us. So maybe that's where my mindset is regarding the aspect. So having a role player, to me, it's like Yabo. Yabo's a role player. When we need him, he come in and do what he can, per se. Shamit to me is a role player. Is that one come in, knock down, play defense, and knock down shots when we need it. But as far as Mitch, I figure he's on the depth chart, as I would say. He's on the scouting report to where teams are scouting heavily against that aspect. So yes, he could be a role player, but this is where my delusional takes kind of come in, and I say I think he's a bigger entity than just a role player.
Yeah,
well, let me qualify what I said. To me, a role player is anybody who's not a star. Like your stars are your stars, and your role players are everybody else. So that's how I personally define it. That doesn't mean that that's what it is for everybody. For some people, a role player may just be someone who's at the end of the bench. But to me, you have your stars because they can do it all, and then everybody else is a role player because they have, like Mitch is defend the paint, protect the paint, block shots, offensive rebound. That's your role. Josh Hart, you're in there to get all the 50-50 balls and help run the offense to the secondary capacity. And so that's your role, and so on and so forth. So that's my definition. If that's not the proper definition, or if that's not how other people see it, that's fine. But as for me, that's why I'm calling him a role player.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody has different definitions of role player. And then you could take that and be like, maybe that's the tier 1 role player, and Shamit Abaselli would be the tier 2.
Right.
Would be the tier 2 role player. Jerrell, you want to say something?
I was just gonna say the way you're describing it, because role players can obviously be starters, right?
Yes.
But if Mitch is only going to play like 16 to 18 minutes a game, like
that's tier 2. Like I think that's what I'm trying to say. He's more
of
tier
a
2
specialist than a role player. Like he's just there to do one thing and get out of the game if he's only going to play like 16 minutes. Like he's more of a specialist than a role player. A role player means like he's getting, starters could be role players, just like we said. Like he should be getting like 25 to 26 minutes a game like he used to. Like if they don't like knock him down 10 minutes, then he is situational at that point. That's
the point I was trying to make.
I get what you mean.
I'm like, you 18 minutes, then we talking about Mitch's as, a role.
Because
role play.
Because what Ajay was describing is more of a specialist type. Like he's supposed to be situational. Like if you need rebounds, put Mitch in. If you don't need rebounds, don't put him in. A role player, that means he's supposed to be doing that every night, regardless if you need those rebounds or not. Like he's supposed to be in the game for almost 30 minutes a game.
I think they're preserving Mitch. I think this is a Kawhi special where it's just like, yo, let's get us to the playoffs, and then we can unleash him and push it through. And great points of what you're saying. You're 100% correct with that aspect. If Mitch is only getting this certain amount of minutes, he is definitely in that bubble of a specialist or role player. But I think, and because this is going back for the Mitch management aspect, it makes no sense. Mitch came in at top shape. We saw the first couple of preseason games of this guy putting in great work, and then they just shut it down with no injuries, not in a boot, any of that.
Right.
And then they just labeled it Mitch management, and I'm just like, no, they really preserving this guy. And then, of course, it's a contract year also. So that can hinder the money that he makes as well with no negotiation. So it's a lot surrounding that from just my perspective. But I truly think that once we get, the latter half of the season, we could potentially see a 30-minute Mitch game down the stretch to kind of get it going. And then playoff time, it's, depending on who we play, like if we have to play Philly and it's an Embiid that we got to deal with, or certain players, like you can see that transpires to a higher minutes. But you guys are correct. Well, 100% I do agree. Like I said, it's just my delusional tick that kicked in, and I got to defend Money Mitch. So,
but
I
was going to say, to delusional's credit, if that is the plan, I'm all for that plan.
Right.
As long as we win it and actually reach the playoffs, I'm cool with just sitting Mitch and only playing him. But we can't talk about him like he's a huge part of the team until that switch is flipped. That's all. But if that's part of the plan, I'm cool. I'm good with that.
To me, I see Mitchell Robinson when healthy, like I see Josh Hart. Like, I see him more on that tier of a role player than I see him on a Shamit tier of a role player. So that's why I was encouraged when I saw him play 26 minutes. I was like, okay, that's getting back to, he's averaged what, 26, 27 minutes, in his career. He looked great in that time. He didn't look like he was struggling, in that time, because that's kind of what I'm looking for Mitch to get, to get back to. But I think Jeff makes a good point. If he's 26 minutes, what is that? That means he's playing a lot of minutes with with Cat, and what does that do? Which brings up another question. But I'm gonna stay right here for now. It's gonna be interesting to see. It's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out, because Mitch is up for an extension. 26-minute Mitch in a Josh Hart like role is a very different decision for an extension than 16-minute Mitch that may go down to 12 minutes if you don't need them, to Ajay's point, and up to 20 depending on the match. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so now when it comes time to make that decision in the offseason, whether you're going to sign him, those things make a difference. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think how the postseason ends up will give us a lot of our results, right? In other words, if we flame out in the playoffs and we're out in the first round and Mitch is playing a big role, then you kind of have to say, well, is it worth $20 million to keep him? If we go to the Eastern Conference Finals and he's only playing 18 minutes a game, but those are impactful minutes, and he takes us to the NBA Finals, or even because he's part of this bigger picture, then I think that's well worth it. Because you have to remember, a lot of the guys who are ahead of him are better basketball players than him, right? I mean, we've got a lot of really good players on this team: Towns and Brunson and OG and McCall and Josh Hart, and Clarkson's got to get minutes, and so you've got there's only so many ways you can slice the pie, right? And it's not going to be evenly, nor should it be. So Mitch at 18 minutes may not even be a slight to Mitch as much as it is. This is a deep championship roster that's only minutes that he can get, just because we have enough. We have other ample talent on the roster that also needs to get in the game and perform its function and do its thing, as opposed to just having to rely on Mitch. And so I think that you can be situational about it. I think 18 is kind of a minimum, right? I don't think he should be, I don't think he should get the Obi Toppin shift, but but I do think that with the minutes crunch that we have right now, I think that it's hard to really say, get him up to 30 minutes, unless who are we subtracting those minutes from, and how impactful are those players, and is it more so than what Mitch's impact is going to be? So I think it's all kind of very intentional. They didn't sign him to a contract extension yet for a reason. They want to see, is this guy worth going into the second apron to keep, because we can sign him. That's one player that we do have the money to go over the second apron to keep if we choose. It's just very expensive in other ways to do so. But because he's our own guy, it's not like the Isaiah Hartenstein situation. It's a little bit different. And so I think that if we see the kind of postseason run that we want to see, I think that lends itself to, yes, Mitch will be here beyond this season. If we don't see the kind of postseason run that we want to see, I think that lends credence to, okay, we're going to move in a different direction. Mitch is just not the right fit with this roster for whatever reason, and then we move forward. That's not my opinion. I'm just saying how organizationally how this group tends to think. I think that's kind of where I'm at with it. What do you guys think?
I can't justify playing extended Mitchell Robinson, even if he is impactful and he's playing 18 minutes a game. I just can't. I just can't. If he's 26-minute Mitch, and he's a healthy, impactful 26-minute Mitch, fine. I just can't see myself going into the second apron for 18 minutes, even if it is impactful. And I also think that whether or not Mitch stays healthy for the rest of the season is a big play. Are they holding him to 18 minutes because, to your point, everybody in front of him is just so talented and that's all we need from him? Or are they holding him to 18 minutes because they're trying to keep him healthy and make sure he doesn't get hurt? Because if that's the reason they're holding him to 18, I just don't see you extending somebody that you feel that you can't play more than 18 minutes a game. Because once you go over that second apron, if Mitch gets hurt, you don't have a lot of avenues to improve your team. So I feel like the impact is important in terms of whether to extend him, but I think his health is also a big part in terms of whether to, that you believe he's turned that corner and you don't believe you have to worry about how do we replace this guy if he, if he gets injured, if we're over the second apron. That's my take on it. But what about the rest of you?
Yeah, it hurts me to agree, but yeah, no, I totally agree. If he can't bring us the production at a certain time, then do it make sense to kind of give him a contract, going into next year? My idea is to kind of give them the contract that they gave Zion, the kind of non-guarantee with certain numbers that you need to make, certain criteria, certain games played and stuff, and non-guaranteeing and being able to be cut. And not, fully guarantee the rest of the contract. So those are situations that's out there. And with Mitch, he's been with us from the beginning. How many off seasons we went with Mitch being on the trade block and he's still here, longest tenured Knick. So it's something that we definitely need to think about, but it's tough to let his production go, even if it's a small sample size, because look what he does when we're on the floor. Those second chance opportunities for us is massive. It's massive. There's certain time period where it's just like, all right, we got Mitch down low. We know we're going to accumulate for 10 offensive rebounds per game. That's 20 points. If you think about it, a second chance opportunity. So we already averaging 121. You take away those offensive rebounds, that would translate to three threes or a couple of 2-pointers. We're down now. Now we do that with,
provided we don't get it, we don't make up for it in other ways. But I get
correct. Now Hakoporty, he comes in, he still gives you the aggressiveness. He's actually better offensively, touch wise and stuff. So maybe they can see that growth. But yeah, it'd be tough to see Mitch lose or leave. But right, if he can't do that, and we're trying to win a championship, that's where my mindset is at. And we're close to that second apron. So organization do need a decision to make.
That's going to be they have to make that decision with Deuce,
but
as well.
We win that chip, it solves everything.
It solves everything. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Anybody else? And then I want to get to the chat on this topic. Anybody else want to weigh in? Nope. All right. DX Relish. I'm late, but how about those Sixers?
Oh my God.
Hang the banner.
We were tired.
Hang the banner. Beat Knicks on second night of back-to-back.
We were tired.
Way to
go. And Jeff said we're gonna see DX Relish. Did you say that, Jeff?
I did. I knew he'd be here. Salute to you, man. Because he took the grief when we bounced him. He didn't duck the smoke, so let him have his victory lap. I got no problem with it.
Let him have his moment, right? Jamrock always, will they loosen the reins a little more now with Mitch? If he can make free throws at a 65% clip, I want to see him more on the floor. As much as it's worked, I don't like, and there's probably something else. If I see the follow-up comment, I'll put it up. Edward Figueroa said, I still want Giannis. Y'all could talk about all of this Mitch stuff if you want. I still want Giannis.
Yeah, whatever. I still want Giannis.
Mitch is in a contract year as well. Let's not get it twisted now. He is in a contract year. What? So are you saying that that's why he's turning it up, because he's in a contract year? I would think if that was the case, he would have
from jump.
From jump, you know.
Hey, those trucks don't pay for themselves, you know.
Right. David Smith, I wouldn't pay Mitch. Why? Oh, we got Huck Porty. No,
I like Ariel, but he doesn't impact the game
nah,
the way Mitch does.
he don't impact the game like Mitch. Yeah.
What was that noise you made? Yeah.
No. Jabroni, it always takes Mitch about 20 games to get into game shape. He's played 19 games this season, so he's rounded into form. Okay. All right. All right. Nick Nation, I appreciate you. Nick Nation, you have the link. If you want to join us, you definitely can. Salute, salute. Hit that like button. Dope Soul family. No doubt.
Dope Soul.
Cat's been an elite defender. It should be, yes. Statistically, he's been in the 90th percentile in rim protection, rim deflections. What is that category? Which takes into account a lot of things at the rim. Yeah, he has. To the eye test, it may not look that way, but statistically, he has been. Kim Doc, the 10 in a row only brings him up to 42%. That's still putrid. Yes, somebody on the show did make that.
That's better than 17% though.
Yeah. David Smith wants to sell high on Mitch, and Jabroni is like, selling high on what? What other center can you get that does what Mitch does for the right price? This is going to be so interesting to see what the front office does, because you gotta, it's almost like a gamble. Like, basically, they're going to have to make a decision on his extension, gambling on his health. Because even if he stays healthy for the rest of the season, does that mean, he's going to be healthy next season? It's going to be interesting. Yes. He's a great passer out of the offensive rebounds. And I think that's a team thing. He's right there at the basket and he's turning around, looking to spray it out for an above the break three, right? I think that's part of the coaching plan. What do you guys think?
100%.
It is.
Yeah.
We've got 2 super chats, by the way.
Oh, we do?
Jay Boogie had one, and we just got another one from Sand the Art.
Oh, okay, let's get to super chat. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Jay Boogie.
What up, Uncle Rel, the pilot, Mr. Jeff, the delusional one, aka the fundamentals, Ajay, the young Curtis Mayfield, and the Pam Grill, the podcast. Let's go. I got a new cut from Boogie that I'm gonna play tonight as well. You guys remind me, because I'll log off and not even play it. Salute, Boogie. I was able to talk to him today. I appreciate you. Shout out to you, you and your family. And you said we have another one. Yeah, let me get to that. And again, we spend more time on the super chats. Sandy Artman, I appreciate the super chat. Appreciate you rocking with us. Peace and blessings, y'all. Number 1, do not trade Cat. He has gravity. Yeah, we don't talk about that enough. 2, Mitch minutes are great. Need him healthy for the playoffs. Okay. 3, I got some mail-in stamps and an old Amazon box. Ship Yabaselli out of here.
PBL.
At Prime, we get free shipping. You don't even have to worry.
Yeah, right. And free returns too.
What can we get for him though?
Sadiq Bey is one of my main targets right now.
But what the monies don't match, so delusional.
Sadiq Bey makes like $6 million. Yabo's at 5, so we just got to add an extra mil and some change and a second round draft pick.
Well, you're gonna have to add something. He's considered a negative asset right now. You're gonna have to add a sweetener if you want to get rid of Yabaselli.
Like,
it'd probably be Yabaselli and Daddier if they're into him for Sadiq.
And not
Bey.
just that. It's a 2-year contract, because if I'm not mistaken, it's a player option, not a team option. right? And so he may opt in. So if you're trading for him, you gotta keep that in mind that he may actually opt into that, to that second year. But talk to us a little bit about Sadiq Bey, why you like him.
Oh man, 6'8" forward that's knocking down 3-pointers at a 43% clip. Massive. He's a brute, the size of OG. Another Villanova player, so he should fit well in with the trio. I just like his toughness. He can create. He's a post player now too. He added the post play to his game. So I think, for someone that can back up OG to play the bigger forwards and also play the small forward position and the spacing, smart player as well. He just had the ACL injury, and he's a journeyman. He's kind of been on multiple teams. So I think that his style of play and his grit will fit perfect with our system just in general, but the players as well.
Now, there won't be any rotation players going out. Yabusele, barely a rotation player, didn't play in the last game. You're not bringing him in to be situational, right? You're bringing him in to be in the rotation, which means either the rotation is going to 11, because already people are talking about Kolick, right? Bringing it to 10 when Shamit and McBride comes back. Well, I guess they was probably including Yabusele. Anyway, a rotation player probably becomes situational, right? Because I don't think you're bringing him in to play 12 minutes a game.
No.
No,
With
you're bringing him in.
talent, he's someone defensively, a big body. You're going to need that during the playoff time. So obviously you have the starting five that's going to be the remainder starting five throughout the playoffs. But Deuce is getting that extended minutes. Clarkson is getting that extended minutes, and then it's Mitch. So then he's kind of playing that role that's going to be there after Mitch. So he's the ninth.
He might get more minutes than Mitch if y'all only got Mitch at 16, 18 minutes a game.
This is true. But even with Clarkson, we seeing Clarkson minutes, his minutes have kind of been up and down as well. Some games he played 30, some times he played 26. So right now, what the Knicks are preaching and what we all are preaching is sacrificing. This is a greater good that we're going for. So you come to the team, he's only benefiting. So granted, if it's a night that you're playing 15, it's going to be high productive 15 minutes. Then 15 minutes is still crucial.
Mm-hmm.
Still crucial. So it's whatever we need. I know we kind of trying to figure out who's going to play what minutes. If Mitch comes in and we do make a trade, because Knicks are going to make a trade, we have to bolster. Whether it's I don't even think we need another ball handler with the emergence of our second-year player, and Deuce is on the injury right now. Once he come back, I think we should be good on the guard aspect. I think it's the forward is really what we need, because if OG go down, right, who's the big body? We're going to bring in Diawara. He seems capable, but he's still fresh, which is why he's getting the reps now. He makes a lot of fresh rookie mistakes because of his repetition. So with bringing in a proven player to kind of back these guys up, and you don't lose that size, which is important, and the shooting, you got to make that move.
Yeah. Let me tell you, Diawara does not lack for confidence. He reminds me of McBride in his first year on the team. There's times when he's out there, I'm like, I think you're doing a bit too much, young fella. But he doesn't lack for confidence. You have to like him.
You love it. You see, he's been like the point of attack on defense, guarding and pressing point guards and stuff. And I'm like, that's what we need. That's exactly what we need. And Sadiq could do that as well.
I think we are getting Sadiq Bey, though.
Right, because it's a lot you would have to give up, but I'll take that chance. And I think it might be draft pick compensations. So just give up as many second rounds you can.
I think you might have to give up a rotation play. I mean, somebody is going to be situational. Like, you just can't play all of these guys, bottom rotation play. You just can't play all of these guys. But shout out to Sandman. I agree with you about gravity. We don't talk about that enough. Sometimes when a player is having a bad game, like, why is he still in the game? He's shooting so bad, he should go. but you have to pay attention to him, and that still opens things up for, for other guys. So Cat, as even if he's having a poor game, you have to keep him. You have to pay attention to him. Now, as far as not trading him, I'm not an advocate for trading Cat, but I will tell you what. Other than Brunson, my question is, are we a better team? That's the question. Are we a better team if we trade this player? And if we're a better team trading Cat, I think you got to do it. If we're a better team trading OG, I think you got to do it. If we're a better team trading Mitch or Mikal, you got to do it. Like that's it. The only person to me that's untradeable is Brunson. Now that doesn't mean trade just to trade. Now I'm talking about like if you put an OG or Mikal or Cat in a trade, you talking about doing some big things.
I think OG should be in that untouchable category as well, just by his winning percentage with us when he's on the floor and in general.
I say that, but everybody has a price. So you say he should be untouchable. What if the Joker becomes available? What if Giannis becomes is he untouchable in those situations?
Oh, if they want like OG and Giannis straight up, I appreciate you.
That record changed pretty fast.
That changed.
Look, you said straight up. Straight up is a different story. That's 30 and 11 to someone that's doing 16 and 4. But yeah. Sorry, OG.
For Yabusele, as of right now, I'll settle for anything. A traffic cone, an old Manhattan payphone, because at least they'll do their jobs. Yeah.
Is it the system that's doing this to Yabusele? Is it the fact that that system role is when you play in a 5, it's a lot of screens, a lot of facilitating more than you kind of generating the offense itself? Or is it just his performance of him not knocking down the shots when he have the opportunity, turning the ball over? So it's like, what is it that, because I was very shocked. When he came here, I had high hopes. He was able to run the transition, attack the paint, knock down the corner threes, which is a pivotal offense for us. So I'm very shocked. Is it the overweight, right? Because then he came in overweight as well. It's like what happened?
He said he was actually lighter. Maybe it's that MSG camera. But he said he was actually lighter. But
so now it's Medicine Round Garden instead of the square one.
Right. You and Ajay are probably the most disappointed. It could be. He's definitely in a different role than he was with with Philadelphia. I also think it's that interplay between, consistent minutes would help. But I can't give you consistent minutes if you're not, if you're not playing well.
Yeah.
But then again, for some players, it's kind of hard. 5 minutes here, 8 minutes here, not like to come in and, to get counting stats. Yeah.
I mean, if he can't play that way, Queen, then he's not good for us. That's what we have right now. 5 minutes here, 8 minutes there. Maybe he doesn't fit with what we're doing, because that's what we have available. Yeah, I'm super disappointed.
But do we have that available because he hasn't been playing well? Because had he came out the box and started playing well, I doubt it would be 5 here, 8 here, 10 here.
You know what? That's a good point, because he had his chances. He had his shots. So
there are only about 3 or 4 players in the entire league I'm really considering putting Towns in a trade for, and those players probably aren't available, with the exception of one, and I think you know who that is. And so, and I don't know if that'll happen. To me, if that's going to happen, it makes more sense this summer, and I'm still not sure if having Towns as the focal point makes any sense in that deal either, because I think if you have Towns and Giannis and Brunson, I think that may be a better fit. on the court wise, and I think that trio complements itself better than say a if Anunoby were still here, for example. But I mean, there's not a lot of guys I'm moving Cat for in the entire NBA, and the list of guys I'm moving Brunson for is even smaller. And so,
and what about Yabusele?
Yabusele, you're not gonna get much for him. So I mean, you maybe hope he turns it around. Yabu, yeah, I'm not sure what you do with him right now, but he's got to pay his dues and then come back when he's called upon, because he will at some point, and it may be tomorrow because we're going to be short some players, so he may get an opportunity.
Oh, I think he's out too with an illness.
Was he? Now I know he's not being load managed.
I think he's out with an illness.
Load managed. Well. I know he is a load, but I don't know.
He's being waste managed. He's taking him straight out to the dumpster.
Yeah. Wow. Artman, formerly known as Steve, appreciate you. Yabu not doing anything. Boy wider than an old school taxi cab with the dice in the mirror. He ate everything on the plate. Bring up dink. Yeah, I don't know about that part though.
Give him credit for the bars though, Queen.
Yeah.
Gotta give him credit for the bar there. That was pretty good. I like that. Good job, young man.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I mean, he's eligible to be traded. I'm not sure. He probably would be a throw-in at this, at this point. Yeah. I get it. All right. Anything else on Mitch before we move on to the 3 games we're playing this week? Minnesota on Tuesday, Cleveland on Thursday, Atlanta on Saturday. Brunson and OG, we know, will be out for those games. Maybe Yabu as well. Before we get into Minnesota,
I don't know if they can see it.
Yeah, I see it. And I know Shaman and Deuce is still out. Is there somebody else on there?
It's Bacome is out for G League, and Yabusele is out with an illness.
Okay.
OG, Deuce, and Brunson. Yep.
And Shaman still, right?
Yep.
Shaman still. Okay. All right. I mean, we're gonna we'll see how it goes. But this is definitely a different approach. Sitting Brunson in an away game versus Minnesota. Do you think this is a coach's decision or organizational decision?
Organizational. They're too involved. Once I heard that coach has to send in a time card to Leon for the rotations and everything like that daily, I said, yeah, no, they're really making sure that they're tight knit with everything that they do in agreements. So, and you see with Brunson before the last game, before he dropped 47, that Philly game, you could tell it just wasn't there for him. He played a lot of minutes. Same with OG. And I said it like, yeah, no, these guys are burnt. They're burnt. So I kind of figured we were going to start to play either the young guys more or just sit the guys out. So it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense to kind of sit them out during this stretch.
Anybody else? Coach, organization? Oh, you agree with?
They're on the same page. Like, hopefully that they're copacetic on that thing. Like, first of all, let Mike Brown coach. You hired the guy. I don't really want to see the front office meddling in minutes decisions anyway. Like that, you hired a guy to do the job. Let him do the job. Like, let him run the rotations as he wants. I don't think that sitting Brunson is necessarily a bad idea. I kind of agree with Delusional. He's, he had a great game against Miami, but he was looking pretty jelly-legged in both Indiana and Philly. So I think that if you get him a rest day, if he's okay with that, and if it's kind of like, if he's healthy, he should play. But if he's kind of banged up a little bit and you want to give him the night off, I'm okay with that.
I'm not. He had a rest day today.
Don't do that.
Oh, Tibian. That's very Tibian of you, but go ahead.
No, listen, we need him, Queen. We need him. The rest day, and what was that rest day, Queen? That I remember I sent you a text last week. I said, would you sit Brunson? That would have been the rest day for me.
Right.
But every other day, there was, I can't remember which game it was, Queen. Like I feel like Brunson should have, they should have kept him off the court that day. But yeah, he's capable, and his body is used to playing every other day. So if he's not ill, if there's no medical reason why he should sit, I think he should play. Even if they reduce his minutes, I think he should play. If he's capable.
Jerrell, do you think this is a coach's decision, organization decision? And then what's your thoughts on it?
I think Mike Brown already told us the answer. Like he said when he first came in, that it's supposed to be like together, right? Like, so the answer is probably both. I think it probably did come down from the organization, and Mike Brown is just going to, do what they say. I think that's the type of relationship they have, and that was one of the reasons Tibbs is not here. So I think they are allowing him to coach. But when it comes to stuff like that and load management, I don't think any coach is going to be like, yeah, I'm going to sit these players. I think that has to come from somewhere, not him.
Yeah. Listen, kudos to Mike Brown. There were parameters, in my opinion, around his hire in terms of what they were looking for in terms of, and I think he's been negotiating this superbly. If it was up to Mike Brown, I think I think Brunson plays tomorrow, right? But I think that's to your point, Jerrell. When he was brought in, these are some of the things we're thinking about organizationally, and we want a coach that's in line with that. And one of them is developing the young, because they said it. They developing the young players, playing young players, expanding the rotation. I didn't even know about a minutes report to Leon after this is my first time
Really?
hearing of that. Absolutely, that there's a minutes report. I know he had a minutes board that he was working from, but I didn't know there was a minutes report that he had to give to Leon. I wonder what Leon said about Mikal Bridges' 40 minutes last night, and Cat playing 38 minutes or 39 minutes on the second half of a back-to-back. The last back-to-back we had. Obviously they're probably making concessions because we're somewhat depleted, right? And without players. But Brown is working in concert with the front office. I don't think this is his decision alone. I think it's coming from the front office, and I think they told him what they wanted when they hired him, and he felt like he can accept those parameters and still build a winning team and still be enough of him, because obviously if they have so many constraints where you feel like you can't, be yourself, you probably don't take the job. But I think he felt like, yeah, I can work with that and still have my imprint on the team. But Ajay sitting there looking pretty gruff, like, yo, if you could go, you go.
No, because don't forget, we got a national televised Christmas game. So you want your guys to be fresh for that.
Yeah, but sometimes skipping a day, delusional, kind of takes you out of your rhythm, right? Even if he plays a few minutes in that game, that's what I'm saying. If you want to manage, just reduce his minutes. Do load management that way. Don't have him in street clothes. Have him play a few minutes. Other teams have done that. Have the guy play less minutes and keep him fresh for the Christmas game. So that's all I'm saying. And I don't have a problem with the front office working in concert with Mike Brown also to, it's not that the front office is not telling him this is what you got to do. And like I think Queen said it, that's what they expect. They expect him to work with the front office to make the team better. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't think that's preventing him from doing his job, because when he's on the floor in the middle of a game, he's the one making the decision. The front office trusts him for that, right? And this is not one of those cases, like they should be or be able to sit down and say, listen, it's probably best if we sit him down or play him less minute this game. There's nothing wrong with that. They're all on the same team. They all want what's best for the team.
Yeah. 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 Interesting. It's just interesting to see the team move in, in that direction. And I'm pretty sure they talked to Thibodeau about that last season. And Thibodeau had Jeff's perspective. I'm the head coach, and as long as the medical staff gives clearance, guys are, guys are gonna play. And I think they were definitely looking for someone with a more collaborative, and they said as much, right? Where we could talk about lineups. And Tibbs is one of them old guys. Like, you're not a basketball guy. You're not talking to me about lineups. You're not gonna come to me and tell me who I need to, put into the lineup. And I think Brown is teetering that, right? In the beginning, it was like 50 players played, the G League, the St. John's players, like everybody was kind of like in the rotation. And then he kind of, shrunk the rotation down a little bit. And then it got to the point where none of the young players were in the rotation at all when we were fully healthy. And that included Kolick, right? And it wasn't until we had some injuries that he was kind of forced to, put them in. And Kolick, at least, has played very well. And basically forcing his hand when we're fully healthy. It's going to be interesting to see what Mike Brown chooses to do. All right, so we're playing Minnesota. Their last game, they beat OKC on a Edwards game winner. Their first signature win of the season. They're 7th in defensive rating as per Cleaning the Glass. They've not been great against teams over 500, just 3-8. Conley has been upgraded to available for Sunday's game versus Milwaukee. Did they win that game?
Not for sure.
No idea.
Okay.
We can pull that up really quickly.
Yeah. Edwards is averaging a career high 28.5 points per game. He's posting up more this season. He's taken 10 3-point attempts this season, and he's hitting 39.5% of them. So, he's really up in his game. And of course, Devo is playing well. Thoughts on Minnesota? Any matchups you're looking to see? What do you think the challenger will well? Now we going in there without Brunson. We're going to really get an opportunity to see Kolick against, first team players. I'm not going to read too much into his performance. Whatever, if he doesn't play well. If he plays well, that is great. But if he doesn't, I'm not going to read too much into it. Just thoughts on the Knicks Minnesota game.
Shoot, I want this as any other game. I want the W. But this is also the time to showcase for our bench players to see what we can. But even with Cat, this is a homecoming for Cat. His scoring ability lately has been crazy. He only had 2 points the last game, but we still got the W, and he was productive in any other aspect of the game. But I want to see what Cat can do offensively. I want Cat to dominate. Cat first game against Minnesota, I believe he dropped 40 points in Minnesota. So I expect a high scoring game, running the offense through Cat. And let's see if he can be that A1 tonight. Tomorrow night. That's what I'm looking for.
Anyone else?
Steph, who did you say who was out again? Brunson and who else? You said somebody else.
OG.
And Yabusele and the two guys.
Daddier.
And Pacome Daddier.
Yeah, this is obviously, since it's a Minnesota game, it's all eyes are going to be on Cat and Julius Randle, which is weird because Anthony Edwards, for the most part, is an afterthought. Even though he's the star of that team, but we're going to focus on Julius Randle and Cat and that matchup and stuff like that. Just because we fans and that's what we look for. But I expect to win, even though it is in Minnesota. I do expect to win, though. Like, I'm at the point that I think we're a good team even without Brunson, or I think we're a good team even without Cat. I just don't think we'd be a good team if we didn't have both of them at the same time.
Mhm.
As long as we have one, I think the offense can run through Cat and it can run through Cat, successfully. When it comes to defense, it's not like we're losing that much with Jay Brunson, but we're losing a lot with OG. So that's when he comes into effect, especially dealing with Anthony Edwards. So, but I still expect us to win. I'm at this point, I expect us to win every game that we play, unless both stars are out at the same time.
Sound like somebody I know.
Hey,
Nick
man.
fans kill me. Let me tell you, we could be without 16 starters. If we lose the next day, Nick fans are up in a roar about why we couldn't hit free throws. The lineups weren't optimized. And like you
Queen,
without 5 rotation plays. I mean,
what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong with that, Queen? What's wrong with expected to win even with the bench players?
there's nothing wrong with expecting to win, but I don't know. I just feel like the fury and the anger when we do lose, as if we went into the game fully stocked. You
Listen,
know,
Right.
just like Jerrell, I expect to win the game. Okay.
there's a difference between, again, expecting to win the game and super upset, hair on fire
All right,
when you don't. To me, that's two different things.
Queen.
Well, if it's a
Let me make it
winnable
easy for you.
game,
If we lose the game, I will be super upset. So let me kind of make it easy for you. You know I'm going to be texting you. I'm like,
Yeah,
look
I want.
look
I
at
want
Cat's
to be
defense,
correct.
hands down. Like, what's he
I
doing?
want to win too, but I'm just saying. I think context matters, though. I mean,
I want them. I expect them to win, but I will not be upset if they lose.
correct.
yeah, I want them to win too. Yeah,
I'm
but
always upset when they lose. It doesn't matter who it's to or who's in or who's out like that. The losses always get to me, but you some are more like I won't be like hair on fire, fury raging if they lose this one because they're extremely short hand. Like we're 4 really good rotation players down. That's tough to beat anybody, much less a playoff team like Minnesota. So they've got their work cut
in
out for them.
Minnesota,
I'm curious to see if Diawara gets extended minutes or if Yabusele creeps his way back into the lineup or if we just see a lot of Josh Hart at the 4, which Minnesota seems like the team that can punish that because they have they have a lot of size. So with Gobert and Randall, so I think that'll be an interesting battle to say the least. And I expect Cat to have a massive game, win or lose tomorrow. He could have a 50 burger, I think, tomorrow. Especially coming off a 2-point performance, going back to an arena that he really enjoyed and loved to play in. Getting traded, wanting to beat his old team. I think all of the stars are aligned for him to have a really epic performance. So that's what I'm hoping to see is that Towns kind of takes over the game and then everybody else kind of goes along for the ride. But what I'm worried about is guarding Ant. Like I don't know that Bridges is equipped for that. OG is out, and so I'm not sure we have a good response to Anthony Edwards on either side of the court because he's a dog defensively too. So I also expect Mikal Bridges to get more responsibilities as far as ball handling and playmaking because I think we've
absolutely.
seen that in Brunson's absence and it's been good for us for the most part. So hopefully that continues as well.
The thing with Cat, though, having a great scoring game is that he's losing gravity around him. And so they'll be able to crowd him, right? Brunson creates space, OG creates space. You don't have those guys. You can really double down on Towns. And, as great as he is offensively, he's not somebody that beats, that could beat double teams and things of that sort. But he's a good passer, right? So he'll be able to locate the open players. But without Brunson and without OG, who are those open players? Hart, Bridges, Kolick, who's been knocking down his. I don't know about his catch and shoot threes, but definitely off the dribble. Um, yeah,
We're
catch
gonna
and
have to have a
shoot
big
too.
game
Catch
from
and
Hart.
shoot too. Yeah. What you were saying, Jed?
I think we need a big game from Clarkson. I think this is where Jordan Clarkson needs to step up. That's why he brought him in, as another offensive player who can kind of, between he and Kolick and Bridges and, no Deuce. And he's usually one of the guys that kind of plays some of those backup point guard minutes. So you're really going to have to rely, I think, on Jordan and Tyler to kind of, split those minutes at the one, and one of them's probably going to have to play significant time at the two, because I think Hart's going to be playing 3 and 4 just because OG's not in the lineup, and we just don't have a lot of 3s and 4s. And Daddy's out too, so he can't do it. I mean, Diawara will probably get some burn. I don't know if they run a lineup with Huckporty in it, maybe at the 4. You might see that too, which I'm not totally opposed to, but be interesting to see what they do so shorthanded.
Yeah. So I think that's 2 in a row for Minnesota, if I'm not.
Yeah, they won on Sunday.
Yeah.
Against Milwaukee.
Yeah, so they're 19-10. They're 8-2 over their last 10. So they've been playing well. The Knicks are 8-2 over their last 10 as well. And they have they are in 5th place in the Eastern Conference. They're 11-5 at home and 8-5 on the road. So they're just pretty good, overall. But again, 3-8 teams over 500, right? So they
and if we had all of our guns, I'd say, yeah, we're in good shape. But how much more like an under 500 team are we with 4 rotation players missing? I think quite a bit, although I still think we have enough to win the game.
Right. Yeah, great point. After that, we play Cleveland, who's really struggling, and things come at you fast in the NBA as a head coach. So now Atkinson is on the hot seat, which they won 686 games last season. He was coach of the year, I think, unanimously. This year, they're in 7th place. They are 2 games over 500, 16-14, only 4-6 over their last 10. Not playing well. I follow the Cleveland show. That's my favorite. That's my favorite show. I love those guys, man. I watched them. I watched them this morning, and they feel the team is soft. They feel that Atkinson is being used as a scapegoat. Guys are just not performing up to par. And Mobley, they had high hopes for Mobley that he would kind of round into shape and be that second option, maybe even first option with Donovan Mitchell, but that isn't happening. Garland is who he is. DeAndre Hunter, not playing the way he played last season, and they are over the second apron. So there's not a lot they can do to improve their team. Thoughts on that Cleveland matchup? I just don't need the Knicks to be Team Tylenol on Christmas Day. Like, you know what I mean? Where now they come in and they get right against us. Thoughts on that game while I look up their offensive and defensive rating?
Well, I mean, it's a matinee game, so it's that early 12 o'clock game. So we usually come out sluggish first half and always turn it up during that second half. But I think guys are sitting out specifically for that game. So I think we ready and prepared. And to my knowledge, I think Mobley is out, right, due to an injury. So I think Mobley is out due to an injury. So
Madison Square Garden, baby, he'll be ready to go against the Knicks. I don't care. Broken leg.
It didn't be out the following game after that. So you are 100% correct.
It'd be out the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's right.
One game.
So, but I think my Knicks will come prepared and ready. That's one of the games that we usually have circled. Like Indy was a game that I truly wanted, so I was happy Brunson got that game winner. I believe going against Cleveland is a game that they got circled, and the Detroit game is another game that they got circled. So I think we'll be up and prepared and ready to take on that. So I see another high Christmas game for either Brunson or Cat. So another 40 for performance for either one of them that night.
Yeah, without Mobley, they even softer than they are with him. But, yeah, they don't play. They don't play really good defense now.
Yeah, 15 in defensive rating, 10 in offensive rating.
Yeah, they barely beat Charlotte. I think Charlotte beat them last week. So
They did, and they lost to Chicago back to back.
Yep.
Blown out the first game. They was blown out both times. Wow.
Right. So I don't see Cleveland beating us, but we'll see.
Mitchell's going to have a big game in the Garden on Christmas. You know that's happening.
Yeah. He's going to need it.
That scares me. I'm not saying he's a better player than Brunson. I don't believe that, but I do believe when the lights are bright at Madison Square Garden, Mitchell likes to put on a show. You're going to get the very best from him at the very least. I think Cleveland's problem is that the pieces don't exactly fit right. I think there's a lot of duplication in Garland and Mitchell, and I think there's a lot of duplication in Mobley and Allen. And if they could kind of do a trade where they kind of move two of those guys out for guys that fit better, I think they have the potential to be, really, back to their 60 win selves from a year ago. And that they lost to the Pacers same as we did, right? And they had injury trouble. Garland wasn't healthy in the playoffs last year. So I just think that's a clumsily constructed team. But on Christmas, with Donovan Mitchell coming to MSG, I think that's a very dangerous game. And we have to see who all is going to be available for us. Like, we're hoping that Brunson is back and OG is back, and that it's load management. But what if it's not?
That's true. That's another question too. Who's going to be available for us?
But I'm hoping that's why OG and Brunson is out tomorrow, so that they can play and be available in that game.
But to me, I would think you would want to beat Minnesota, and then you have a better chance without those guys against Cleveland. Like, I think that's operating in backwards world to me. Like, I think you need all hands on deck to beat Minnesota more than you need to be all hands on deck to beat Cleveland. Like, I mean, you'd prefer to have it in both cases, but if I'm going to load up in one game, it would be the Timberwolves game, unless you feel like you're not going to beat them even with those guys. And I hope they don't feel that.
I don't know, Jeff. It's Christmas. Cavs are an East Coast team. We already beat the Timberwolves once so far this season. I can see them wanting to do the Cleveland game, especially since it's on Christmas. It's a nationally televised game. Like, the organization has a lot to say about that.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is the reason why. I think to your point, I do think Christmas is a big game. They want all their stars there. They understand that people come out for Christmas. It's a nationally televised game, and I think Mike Brown, more than any other coach that's been here with the Knicks, understands that narratives matter. Because you see him, he's really pushing the Brunson MVP narrative, and you need to do that. Like, you want to think that whether you say that or not, whoever's voting would be able to see it, and you shouldn't have to say anything. That's not the case. I think you're going to have to push the OG and Mikal Bridges all-star narrative, and you're going to have to push the OG and Mikal Bridges all defensive team narrative. You got to push it, because even last year when they talked about defensive players, like, you would hardly ever hear OG's name in the conversation. I was like, well, who are they talking about? Why is OG's name not being mentioned? So it is important to push that narrative, and maybe, that's what having these guys play on Christmas Day, where everyone is going to be watching. Maybe that's a part of it. I mean, I don't know for sure, but maybe that is a part of it.
Do we know if Brunson and OG will be traveling with the team? Because it's also having to go to Minnesota, and Christmas is a home game.
That's a good point. I'm not sure.
Maybe they're not traveling with the team. We'll see.
Yeah.
That'll be something too.
Yeah, true.
So if we're healthy, we're winning that game.
What, Cleveland? Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's move on to Atlanta Saturday. They've lost 3 straight, 7 of their last 9. They're 15-15 on the season, 9th in the Eastern Conference. They're 12th in offensive rating, 18th in defensive rating, 17th in net rating. And listen, I think we all know, regardless of what these stats say on any given night, a bad team can beat a good team.
Absolutely.
But they're not playing that well of late. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Trae Young is back.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
He's kind of been the monkey wrench, though. They were playing better without him. Like he came back and the losing streak started. I think it coincides exactly. So I'm not saying Young's to blame. I just
yeah. That's the same thing with Hero's return to Miami, though he's been out the past 2 games and they're still not winning, so they can't blame it all on him. Yes, Jabroni, right? The MB campaign. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thoughts on go ahead.
I'm just gonna say Trey's been out for a long. Like he only played like 7 games this season. So I think, whether they have winning streaks or losing streaks, I don't think the Hawks are a very good team without him. Like it's still
he's
Trae
going to
Young.
show out at the Garden. You know that if he can roll the dice on center court, he wants to do that. So, that's another case of guys always get well against the in time to play the Knicks. Young is gonna have a big game or try to have a big game. Sometimes we make his life miserable. A lot of times we do, in fact. But he's going to come out firing for sure. And I still think Jalen Johnson is one of the best players that nobody ever talks about. I think he's a terrific,
like
borderline all-star and he's still a kid. Isn't he like 22 years old or something like that?
24, yeah.
Yep.
24. Okay, he's a little older.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, 36-11.
That kid.
36-11-9 their last game against the Bulls.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking
11-9.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. It's Atlanta, so we won't be rolling any dice still.
On the game recap, we were talking about like players the Knicks passed over. What's this guy, AJ Mitchell? What's his last name? AJ Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, we could have got Jalen Johnson. You know what I mean? Like we passed over, a lot of teams passed over him, and so did the Knicks. And look at him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Happens to the best of us. Anyway, if we healthy, you see that thing without Deuce and Shaman, like trying to guide Trae Young, with screen navigation, with Bridges, who are you putting on him? Clarkson, Kolick, you know what I mean? It's gonna have to be obviously it's always a team thing, but it's gonna be interesting to see what scheme they, dial up to, or he might be on self-check. He's not a really efficient.
I like it when he's on self-check.
He's not a really efficient, 3-point shooter. However, he has a lot of gravity despite that, and he's really, really good in the pick and roll. Thoughts on the Atlanta game? Any matchup you're looking forward to? Anything or player you're concerned about?
Yeah, with this game. No, you could go, Jeff.
I'm sorry, Dyson Daniels. If he's in the game, I think he could give Brunson fits. He's long, he's tough, he moves his feet really well. So if Daniels is if Brunson is playing and Daniels is out there, I think having Kolek or someone else out there to kind of help Brunson out and let him play off ball more is going to be extremely helpful. And just because Trae Young can't guard anybody, so if you can have. If you can have that second playmaking guard, and Kolek has been really good in that role. Clarkson has had some decent opportunities in that role. I think it's going to be a key to that matchup is how we're able to neutralize Dyson Daniels defensively.
Yeah, but see, unlike last year when, it was just Brunson, taking 89 seconds to get the ball over half court as if nobody else can touch the ball. I don't anticipate that. How we've been getting the ball up quickly, passing the ball up in like a pass or two to get it over half court. So we need to continue that. That would mitigate his effectiveness on Brunson. Bridges bringing the ball up at times will also do that. Josh Hart bringing the ball up. Josh Hart, secondary playmaker, secondary ball handler as well. I think that's going to mitigate Daniels, at least Brunson bringing it up over half court. But to your point, once it's over half court, you're right. He is a really good lockdown perimeter defender.
And I interrupted you, Delusional.
That's
What were you
fine.
going to say? I apologize.
Oh no, you pretty much said everything that I was going to say, which I kind of already knew. You definitely started off with Dyson Daniels. Once I saw this Atlanta team constructed over the summer, this was one of the teams that I was like, all right, you got to beware. It's length all over the place. They still got Porzingis stretch 5. Jalen Johnson, this dude is averaging 23, 10, and 8. Like you said, an underrated player right now that is kind of dominating. Dyson Daniels, another 6'7", 6'8" wing player or guard. Neil Alexander Walker is another, guard that is defensive that can shoot. He's averaging 20 points per game. But then, of course, you add Trey, then Luke Kennard, another shooter. So they kind of have the length, the shooting, with Quinn Snyder as the head coach. So I thought that this would have been, a crazy dynamic team. So
many of us did. Many of us did, right? When we were doing the ratings for the rankings for the season.
Correct. But of course, with the Trae Young injury, Porzingis still had illness injuries that they're still dealing with. So, but this is going into this game. It's definitely the Dyson Daniels and Brunson matchup, which is very crucial. Even with Trae Young and a Porzingis pick and roll, how are we going to manage that a lot better? Cat has to get out on that. That's something that we got to manage. Cat and stretch big sometimes are not the best in defending when they run that. So I don't want to say this is a clear shot victory for us. I feel like we can get the W, but we have to be clicking on all cues. We can't come out flat in the first quarter like we have in certain games of giving up 30 points and then having to work our way back. I think we need to just kind of come in early against them and just kind of oppose our will. But it's still a W at the end. But I wouldn't be shocked if it ends up like a Philly situation.
I would, because I just feel like Philly has been playing better than Atlanta. Atlanta has been really, they're 2-7 this month. They have the league's 27th ranked defense in December. Their last in opponent effective field goal percentage, 50 teams, 59.2% teams are shooting over the past 3 weeks. And they lost 152-150 to the Bulls on Sunday. And that was the 4th time this month that they've allowed more than 125 points per 100 possessions. Like, they are just stinking it up defensively. And you know what that means. They're going to be locked down on Saturday. They're going to be locked down on Saturday. Right. So what are you thinking this week? 3-0, 2-1. Idea not 1 and 2.
It's a 2-1.
It's a 3-0. It's a 3-0 week.
Okay, AJ, I like that.
AJ have the Knicks going 82-0 every year,
and I'm right most of the time though, because we win more game than we lose, so I got a pretty good winning percentage on that one.
Yeah.
He's 20-8 right now, just so you know.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was wrong 8. I was only wrong 8 times.
8 times.
I'm gonna say 2-1. I think if the Knicks can get that game in Minnesota, that would be amazing.
Queen, if we get that game in Minnesota, we're going 3-0. That one is tomorrow because nobody's playing. Like, realistically. Yeah. So it's that 2-1, that one is tomorrow. We shouldn't. There's no reason we lose the other 2 games.
I will say though, a hurt team is a dangerous team too, right? Cleveland is looking to, right the ship. Atlanta is looking to right the ship. So they're going to be a bit more focused, right, to try to get off their snide and get some positive things happening. So my point is, we're not catching any of those teams sleeping. Yeah. You're gonna have to beat them. That's all I'm saying. You're gonna have to beat them. Um,
True.
yeah. All right. Um, I'm gonna get to the chat, and unless we have anything else, we can. Anybody have anything? Anything else?
No.
The Knicks are, for those who didn't know, the Knicks are 20-8, 2 games behind the Detroit Pistons, who are 22-6. The Knicks are 14-2 at home, 5-6 on the road. The Knicks are the only team in the top 6, in the top 7, that has a losing record on the road.
Mhm.
We don't have a
Eight.
losing record on the road. We're 6-6.
Am I not? It says 5-6 here. Hold on.
Oh, are
Let
we
me
only
let me
5-6?
refresh.
I could have it wrong.
It's
I
five
thought
and six.
it's 5-6. Okay,
Yeah, the San Antonio game doesn't count.
doesn't count. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. 5-6.
five
My
and
bad.
six. That's fine. 8-2 over the last 10. Um, Look at Boston, man. I did not see that. 18-11, 8-2 also over their last 10. They won their last 3 games, 10-5 at home, 8-6 on the road. Wow. Good for them. I mean, good. I had them in the play-in. I had them in the
I'm not that lucky,
play-in.
Queen. Not that lucky.
Oh man, let me just shout the chat out
Quinn,
before we
before you
go ahead.
shout out the
Yes,
chat, chat shout us out. Do us a favor, hit that like button and
absolutely.
share. Click that share button, copy, and share with your social media, wherever you at. But definitely hit the like button so YouTube could read the algorithm, see that we're doing something here.
Yeah, and then the other thing I want to, so we stream to X, we stream to YouTube, obviously, but I also want to stream
Facebook.
to Facebook. I just want to make sure that I change it. There it is. There's the link to that's the QR code in the upper over
Jerrell.
Jerrell. My right. You guys right as well. Um yeah, we need 12 more subscribers so that we can start streaming again to Facebook. So if you have an opportunity, subscribe to the Dope Soul Sports Facebook page so we can start streaming to Facebook. All right. All right. Size 9. Appreciate you. Jabroni. Lonnie Meeks. Appreciate you. East Blue Drew. Davis Smith. Always rocking with us. Thank you. Thank you for taking time off from looking at cat stats to join us on the show. We appreciate that. At MM. Yep. He said Willis Reed sure as hell ain't walking through that door, chat. That's a fact.
So
Old
the
head.
MVP.
Yeah, yep. Old head for the win. We appreciate you. Patrick Ewing ain't walking through the door. Carmelo Anthony is not walking through the door. Hey. Let me see. What is that? Devin R. Polodon. Wow. I'm not sure. Hold on.
Continue. I think Two Knicks Chicks was here earlier. Oh, go ahead, Queen.
Yeah, she
No,
was.
go ahead. You guys can shout people out too. In game, 2 Knicks Chicks, Walter White.
J Boog.
J Boogie. Definitely J Boogie.
Don't forget we got that music video.
Yes. Oh yeah, we got to show
Shoot that up right quick so we don't.
Yeah.
I know your condition, Queen.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Sherwin, Saul Hassim.
I'm the art man, formerly known as Steve.
Art man, formerly known as Steve. Yep, definitely.
Thanks for the super
chat. Man was here too with a super chat as well.
Yeah, Boogie was here with a super chat. Also,
East Blue Drew said Steve Novak not walking through either. President and great grandfather to Deuce and his fan club Wiz was in the house.
Okay, shout out to Wiz.
Cam
King
Doc.
Ribby.
Cam Doc.
Kim Doc. Yep. I appreciate that. Kev Berg. I appreciate you
Wiz
as well.
Wants to be the next guest, by the way. I think that's what he said when he said I need to share my Knicks. Or remember we had
we were
scientists on last time. So I don't know.
Are you ready, Wiz, for next week? Because if you are, I want to put you on the the what you call it on the thumbnail. So let me know if you're ready. If you're ready for next week. I don't know how long your story is. Already 11. Huh? You know, you might pull a Uncle Freezy if I put you on
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
right.
Next week.
Yeah,
He said he
or
stayed ready like Deuce. Deuce been on the IR for like a month now. What are you doing to us here?
yeah. Okay. So next week. Yeah. Or shout out to my man Ron Cleveland. He was another one, man. You let him in on the tail end of the show. It's a wrap. 20 minutes at least. Show extension. Um, appreciate you. He said 2 to 3 minutes max. That's it. Nah, you got to get some more material. So next week we need you. We need you like 5 to 10. Come on, man. Come on. All right. So I guess that's. You
Queen,
know.
what's the schedule like, Queen? Because we
Oh yeah. So we Jeff, we're going Wednesday, right?
Yeah, after it's like
Yeah.
11:30, whatever time you can. I don't know what
Yeah.
your work
so
schedule is.
Wednesday
Yeah.
and
11.
Friday.
Yeah. Wednesday. I'll go Friday if anybody wants to join me. Jeff is not sure if he'll be able to go Friday. But if I'm going Friday, it's an off day for me. I'm gonna probably have to do early. If I'm gonna go Friday, probably be 10 a.m. Um Wednesday, Wednesday 12:30 EST, Eastern Standard Time. Friday 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Sunday, I'll go. If there's anybody who wants to rock with me on Sunday, let me know. That'll also be a 10 o'clock post um, a 10 o'clock post game, and then we'll be back next week Monday, with our usual weekly preview game. Me and Ajay and whoever else wants to join the panel as we preview that week's opponents, and then the weekly show on. We'll be back. Next Thursday.
And Queen,
For
that
that.
Monday,
Mhm.
we're playing New Orleans, but we're playing them like 8:30 ish, so we could still do our show. We could still do
Okay.
like
We can.
7.
7.
I think we played them in 8, so we could do a 1 hour from 7 to 8.
Yeah, let's do that.
Jay
All right.
Boogie put in another super chat, by the way.
Oh, he did. All right, let's get to it. Oh, I almost forgot about this. Oh, you see? Anybody at the game Saturday, hit me up. I'll be in the building. So if there's anybody going to the Atlanta game Saturday, let him know.
I wish.
He'll be. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
MSG.
Oh, the other thing I wanted to. You guys, oh man, y'all gotta know my condition is not. It's been like 3. I missed this opportunity 3 times. Still remind me about the Boogie song before I
You got another super chat stuff. Walter
Okay.
White.
All right. Yeah. This is why I can't get myself together. Where is it?
You want me to put it up? The Walter White thing?
Oh yeah, you can put that up while I'm doing that. And if you don't mind reading it, that would be great.
Salute to the collective. Does anybody think Cat has played elite defense?
Does anybody think that? Yes, David Smith does.
David Smith thinks that. Yeah, but we talked about it earlier. Like, maybe to the eye test, it might not look like it, but
it doesn't. It really doesn't.
Statistics show that he has been playing pretty.
He's been playing better D, Jay. He definitely
been better.
He's been in the right slots, right movement, strips, block shots.
The hands down kill me, man. The hands down and stand and look around. There are too many of those.
Of late, though, Ajay? Sorry about that. Of late?
Yesterday's game. Hands down. Look it up.
But how many times, though?
One time is one time.
I mean, if you look at any other defensive play, I'm pretty sure they're not hitting their rotations 100% of the time, even the elite defenders, right?
It's not just hitting the rotation. Like he doesn't, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the kind of player he is. He doesn't have that instinct, right, to have his hands up to try to alter the shots. You know what I'm saying? So he did, and he's been getting in position. He's been doing certain things, blocking shots and grabbing defensive rebound, which to me is also part of defense.
It is.
But you're a 7-footer. If you put your hands up, you will alter some shots. Like naturally, you will do that.
He's in the 90th percentile for shot alterations, though.
Yeah.
Well, shot. What is it? Shot. What is it? Shot deference. I forget the word. There's a word for it that includes block shots, altered shots, um, things of that sort. He's in the 90th percent. At least that was the case about a week ago.
Shot
Whether he's still
deterrence,
in
is that what it's called?
shot deterrence, I think it is. Yes, thank
Shot
you, Jeff.
deterrence.
Yeah, and also rim protection, 90th percentile.
Doesn't seem
Again,
that
this
way.
was over.
Yeah.
This is
I
why.
know what the stats say, but
Yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't seem that way. When you're watching the games, like,
right. But one thing that is better though is his rotations, man. These past 3-4 games, and on the
and staying on the floor with less stupid fouls is very important with him.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, so I do want to so DJ Shuttle, we're having a birthday party as well as a watch party on January 7th. It is a Wednesday. It's at Ben's Crab in Valley Stream. DJ Shuttle will be DJing. It's also his birthday, and it's also a watch party. The Knicks will be playing the Los Angeles Clippers. So anybody that is in the area Wednesday, January 7th, come out, help us celebrate DJ Shuttle's birthday. It should be a lot of fun. Doors open at 4 p.m. The food is good there. The drinks are good as well for those who do drink. They have mocktails as they call them as well. So yeah, definitely come in and help us celebrate his birthday and let's watch the game. Watch the game together.
Yep.
All right, I will definitely be there. All right, so we're gonna go out with DJ Shuttle with Jay Boogie. Let's see. Let me get it. All right. Boogie, if you're still here, I have it, but the title is not coming up for me. All right. Here we go. This is Jay Boogie latest. He said it hasn't been dropped anywhere else. We're getting it first.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
They say we 19,812 strong. I
That's
say we
the
New
hit.
York City strong. Look at the building. Just look at it. Madison Square Garden. The world famous arena, that's the building. Madison Square Garden, we in the building. From the floor seat to the nosebleed, the building. The best fans home stand, that's in the building. They don't do it like this. They know the city don't miss. We about to hit the switch. It's the New York Knicks. I represent for the city, this for the NY. Brunson burner boy, kiss to the sky. From here to June, that city drip, that's orange blue. Saint of a nigga live a bars like from Sky Zoo. You see the city game nice, we got the stars out. Bars sold out, the garden sold out. You see the sponsors that Boo, Dobby, Delta Chase. Them 5 boroughs, MSG, the Empire State. Wait, you see the Queen got a torch leg. By Mike Green, Jamal Crawford. It's no city like New York. It's no city like New York. You see the squad that keep balling. You see the squad that keep balling. Tell the city that we all in. This is Madison Square Garden. The world famous arena, that's the building. Madison Square Garden, we in the building. From the floor seat to the nosebleed, the building. The best fans home stand, that's in the building. They don't do it like this. They know the city don't miss. We about to hit the switch. It's the New York Knicks.
Nice.
They say we
Uh-oh.
19,812 strong.
Hold on. There we go. Boogie, we
Let's go,
appreciate you.
Boogie.
I'm looking at all of the songs that's in my in the music section, and about 1, 2, 3, 4. I got like 10 of them. 10 of them is Boogie, Boogie's joint. We appreciate you always rocking and giving us an opportunity to to play your
Put
music.
that on an album, sell it on the street, Queen. You'd be a millionaire.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure it's on all platforms, so you guys can download it. It's on all platforms. He had another one that I didn't get a chance to. I missed it in my email. That's been playing on other channels as well. So if you go to all streaming platforms and put in J Boogie, you're gonna get all of the Nick joints and whatever else he's doing. So we appreciate you, Boogs.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, Nick family, enjoy your time, with the fam, and just keep everybody else in mind. The holidays is not always a good time, for people for one reason or another. So let's just keep everybody in your thoughts and in your prayers. And we will see you guys again Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, 12 o'clock. Appreciate you, fam.
Peace.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. DopeSoul.
Where you at? Where you at?
DopeSoul.
Where you at? Where you at?
DopeSoul.
What?